Welcome. This is still Unit 1 Assumptions and Nature of Art. Are you ready? At the end of the lessons, the learners are expected to do the following. In this lesson, we are going to characterize the types of subjects in art. Because in Lesson 4, we are going to talk about subject types. Now at the end of Lesson 4, the learners are expected to differentiate the different subject types, to analyze a work of art according to its subject type, explain the importance and impact of subjectivity in an artwork. It's very interesting to learn, right? Now let us keep going. A work of art, especially with regards to paintings and sculptures, can be categorized as representational or abstract. Can you think of an example? Do you have your own favorite artwork? Well, let's see and watch this video first. The first type is called representational art. This type describes artworks that are derived from real object sources, in other words, those that retain a strong reference to the real world. The keyword here is the word representation. It represents something, some real object. Can you think of an artwork that represents a real object? This is also called figurative art as it represents objects or events in the real world, usually looking easily recognizable. For example, a painting of a cow looks very much like a cow. It's quite obvious what the artist is depicting. Did you see that? The painting is represented by a cow. Do you also have paintings at home that represent something like an animal, a flower, an object? Now those are examples of representational art. Representational art doesn't have to be limited to completely realistic scenes. The artist might choose to paint a tree in different colors or create a mystical world with people and monsters. But in general, we still see things in the work that we recognize as being things. What do you see with these paintings? These paintings still represent a tree. Even though they got different colors of the leaves, these are still recognizable as trees. Representational art has been around for thousands of years. Ancient examples include cave paintings where very early humans used natural pigments to create images of bison and other animals they hunted. For much of the history of art, works were representational. Just check out some of these examples. We will actually learn more of this one in Lesson 1 of Unit 2. Have you seen one of these personally? What can you say about this kind of art? Now let us take a look at this example by Johann Anton Eismann. This figurative or representational work from the 17th century depicts easily recognizable objects like ships, people, and buildings. But artistic independence was advanced during the 19th century, resulting in the emergence of abstract art. Have you got what a representational art is? Let us have the next type. The second type of subject is abstraction. It actually indicates a departure from reality and depiction of imagery art. Abstract art refers to compositions that are derived or abstracted from a figurative or other natural sources. Does it represent something? Or can you just see strokes in different colors? Abstraction may also refer to non-representational art and non-objective art that has no derivation from figures or objects. Just observe some of these examples. What can you say about it? Do you think it is good? Can you choose one abstract painting and describe it by yourself? What can you say about its colors, its patterns? It actually does not represent something as it is an abstract. A work of abstract art might explore elements like color, line and form. It doesn't include images or shapes of objects that you would recognize. The idea of abstract art really got its start in the early 20th century, when artists began to move away from strict depictions of real-world elements to express inner ideas, theories and emotions. Artists known for creating abstract art include Wassily Kandinsky. Abstract works can look very different from each other. Look at this painting by Wassily Kandinsky. We see a canvas full of colorful shifting forms and lines. What can you say about it? What have you observed about it? It was actually good and unique at the same time. Look at the lines and the figures. All works, to some extent, are abstract in that they might remind us of what we see in the phenomenal world by only reflecting in some physical features rather than detailing the object, place, or person. Let us look at this example. This painting by Wassily Kandinsky entitled The Writer is very much an abstract, but it still is a representation of something for which the title of the painting gives it away. A more realistic representation of the same subject from the same painter is seen below. This example is more typical of representational art. The levels of abstraction will always vary as the art will always be partly subjective by nature. Just observe it clearly. In this lesson, we discussed about representational art and abstraction. Have you learned something? That is end of Unit 1, Lesson 4. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next topic about kinds and sources of subject. Good luck on your activity.